Well, it's happening. World War III brought to you by the Democrats. And one of the most important things to take note of in all of this is never underestimate Sleepy Joe, Jurassic Joe's ability to destroy the planet. So there's that. And yeah, pretty wild stuff here that we have here today. Russia launched intercontinental ballistic missiles towards Ukraine. Air Force says. Ukraine's Air Force say they were able to destroy 6 of the missiles during the early Thursday attack. And I just want to know, when did I apply for the cast of Mission Impossible 8? Like, somehow we all got roped involuntarily into the cast of Transformers 7. Like, what the heck? Like, we can't just have a normal day. We can't just have a peaceful transition of power. No. They have to go out with a bang. Biden has to go out with a bang. Just ridiculous. We're going to get into our first clip here. And be sure to smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new. All that great stuff. Shout out to the King Squad, the King Squad family, and the King Squad elites. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And don't let anyone tell you any different. Let's get into these videos. Thank you to everyone who donates to the channel and keeps me updated and leaves positive comments. Let's go.
The Ukrainian Air Force saying Russia has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile in the central eastern city of Dnipro. If true, this would be the first known use of these powerful nuclear-capable missiles. And this as the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv has reopened following an urgent warning that Russia might launch a significant air attack on the capital city. Tensions remain high in the region after Ukraine used long-range British missiles and American-made ballistic missiles to strike Russian territory for the first time. President Biden also expanding Ukraine's arsenal by agreeing to give the country anti-personnel landmines.
The landmines that we would look to provide them would be landmines that are not persistent. You know, we can control when they would self-activate, self-detonate, and that makes it far more safer eventually than the things that they are creating on their own.
John Elliott is the former Trump national security aide and author of the new book, The Biden-Harris Betrayal, Weak and Woke on the World Stage. And John joins me now. John, good morning to you. So how big of a deal is this news that Ukraine is saying that Russia has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time?
Well, Carly, good morning. It's absolutely a big deal if it's true, just as you said. What this would represent a major escalation by Russia in the war against Ukraine. And this follows on what the Biden administration did just the last couple days. They allowed for attacks, directly long-range attacks, 130, 190 miles, up to 190 miles into the territory of Russia that's never been authorized before. These are U.S. weapons that are now authorized to go directly against Russia. And then also what Lloyd Austin was just saying there about the anti-personnel mines, those have never been given over there, and those are very, very dangerous. Once again, that's a major escalation. So if true, this ICBM that was launched for the first time against Ukraine, this would mean a major escalation, really a response to the provocation that the Biden administration is doing in the last throes. We got 2 months going in this administration. President Trump has said that he's going to ramp this war down. And suddenly, why are we provoking the Russians and then having a tit for tat? Meantime, there's more going on in Iran that we can talk about. But we're on the verge of World War III in 2 locations on the Biden-Harris watch. And it's coming in the last 2 months before President Trump gets in office. And this is outrageous.
OK, so
just to be clear, this is intentional sabotage. OK, and we know it. We're not blind to it. We see it clear as day. They are intentionally sabotaging Trump. And I mean, it's ridiculous. They're war thirsty. OK, they're war hawks and bloodthirsty bloodhounds and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what do you think Ku Klux Kamala Harris's reign would have looked like? OK, I don't think it would have been anything peaceful. I don't think she would have been some prosperous leader that leads us to the promised land or anything like that and leads us to economic prosperity and all that kind of stuff. I think that she would be hungry for war. I think that things would look like how they're looking right now, you know? And so you got to really be thankful that she did not win, really. But the fact that Biden is still in office is just, oh my gosh, oh brother. Just when we thought we could catch a break, he said, psych. It's crazy.
Also, Vladimir Putin just lowered the threshold for the country to be allowed to use nuclear weapons. Their current stance is essentially they could use nuclear weapons if they're attacked at any time. So where do you think all of this is going?
Well, once again, we're on the verge of World War III right now because we are Putin has said that there was a red line. He said that if we allow Ukraine to attack directly long-range missiles into Russian territory, then that was a red line, and that he threatened nuclear action as a result of that. And look, we also have the Iranians who are 1 month away from building several nuclear weapons right there. And so this is, once again, the instability that's brought about through the Biden-Harris weakness. We saw it in Afghanistan. There was a green light for Putin to go 2 years ago into Russia, 2.5 years ago now. And so this is something where Russia is right on the edge right now, and this is something that we need President Trump in office right away so that he can ramp down these conflicts and just bring peace to that region.
So, John, there are also those in the Republican Party who think that President Biden should have already done this, given Ukraine the ability to strike deep inside Russia from day one, give them everything they want. You could make the argument that that would be the peace through strength position. What about that?
Biden and strength? You got to be kidding me. Those are antonyms.
Well, it's not the case because, once again, this is something where President Putin is ready to negotiate because he knows for a long time that this is a position that President Trump has had and that he will, as a deal maker, he's the art of the deal and he'll be able to push both sides together. But what this risks right now is something that can spiral out of control very quickly. We saw the use, if this is true, the report of the ICBM being used. That's the first time ever, and that shows that all you need to do is put a nuclear warhead on that, and we've got World War III. So this is something that is very dangerous, and if we're looking to strengthen the hand of Zelensky, the Ukrainians, against Russia, this is a very dangerous game to play, and we need to be very careful and get President Trump in office so that he can push both sides together and get a deal here.
Tense times. John Elliott, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely need Trump in office, okay? We want peace and prosperity and all that kind of stuff. And these people are trying to take us straight to war. Here's another clip here of what it looked like. And it says Russia fires intercontinental ballistic missiles at Ukraine for the first time. Transformers, unedited clips right here. I'm just kidding. It doesn't say Transformers. But yeah, it's just crazy. Prayers out to these people that went through this and all that kind of stuff too. So it appears there's no sound. Okay, there we go. And important thing to note here too is I don't believe these missiles had like the actual explosions in there, and you can see via the damage. All right, but I think the craziest thing was the fact that how quickly the missiles came down. I really believe that Putin was really sending warning shots, if anything. Comment down below what you guys think about that. So we're gonna get right into some of these comments. I found these to be very interesting, and yeah, they were talking about the warning and no explosions as well. Someone said it's a kinetic kill ICBM without a warhead, probably a warning shot. I thought so myself. Those didn't have payload. Those were just the warning shots for what could happen to Ukraine in seconds. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Last one, the missiles did not carry ammunition. These missiles were a test. They are capable of carrying a nuclear stockpile. They cannot be shot down by any of the existing air defenses. Zelensky asked for long-range missiles. Well, he received it. So there's that. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's just nuts. This is a wild time to be alive. Definitely a time to be, paying attention and stay prayed up and pay attention and all that kind of stuff. Because the attack on, everybody's freedom and peace of mind is real. Let's get into our next clip here. Wait, hold on. Okay, here we go. We got this guy. You guys know who this is. Fake Tapper, right? Shout out to the King Squad member who came up with that one. That was one of my favorites. And Jake Tapper. No, Fake Tapper. But yeah, we're going to see what they have to say about it. Let's see what CNN has to say. Let's get right into it.
Topping our world lead, a never before used new Russian.
Also, everything that's happening, just remember, people who voted Kamala Harris voted for this stuff to happen.
Missile carrying multiple warheads was fired at Ukraine today, and it was not just a weapons test, rather a blaring signal to the West and to Ukraine that while this one was not strapped with nuclear warheads, the next one, well, could be. Russian President Putin emphasized this point by celebrating the new missile's, quote, successful launch. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh reports now for us from Ukraine's capital of Kyiv as Putin tests the world's limits.
A familiar horror, but a quite different sight on Ukraine's skyline. Multiple projectiles at 5 a.m., apparently from one missile hitting an industrial site in Dnipro city, suggesting, as Ukraine reported, Russia had launched a new type of ballistic.
Yeah, Biden's too busy over here, eating ice cream and wandering off into the Amazon. And meanwhile, Putin is over here playing war games. Shout out to that old movie, if you guys ever remember that movie. Anybody remember that movie, War Games? I think it had the guy who played Bueller in it. But anyways, yeah, Putin means business. I mean, that's how he's coming off to me. Let me know what you guys think. I personally think Putin is not one to play with. I think he means business. But, you got Biden out here, dipping his toes in a shark-infested waters. Biden is not a shark, okay? I think that Biden is kind of just a guy with buttons, and he's just pressing anything and hey, what does this button do? Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know it launched missiles, and now we're at war, and, the sabotage of the country, and, now we just ruined Trump's entire term. So it seems like that's what they're trying to do. And I really am just disappointed that Biden even got this far as being president and all that kind of stuff. Like, this guy does not take his job seriously, let alone do I think he even realizes he's the president sometimes. I just think Biden's gone. I think the lights are on, but nobody's home with him. And he's playing with the big dogs, and he is not one of the big dogs. That's kind of my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Let's get right into this video, into faking in.
Ballistic missile, perhaps intercontinental, a stark escalation.
Today, our crazy neighbor has once again shown who he really is, and how he despises dignity, freedom, and human life in general, and how afraid he is. He is also so afraid that he is already using new missiles.
CNN obtained these exclusive images of the missile debris, Ukrainian experts poring over the pieces to determine what this new threat is. Little dispute, it was something new. The Kremlin kept silent during the day, bar this bizarre episode at a foreign ministry briefing that spoke volumes.
Алло. Да, у меня брифинг. Да, хорошо, спасибо.
Perhaps a trailer for Russian President Vladimir Putin's big reveal. He said the missile was a new hypersonic non-nuclear device called the Hazelnut. There are no means to counter such weapons today, he said. The missiles strike targets at speeds of 10 Mach. That's 2.5 to 3 kilometers per second. The modern air defense system available worldwide and the US developed missile defense systems in Europe cannot intercept such missiles. This is impossible. He framed the strike as a response to American and British supplied missiles, ATACMS and Storm Shadows, slamming into Russia proper over the last 72 hours. We consider ourselves entitled to use our weapons against the military objects of those countries that allow their weapons to be used against our objects. And in the event of an escalation of aggressive actions, we will respond just as decisively and in kind.
So we're going to just end it right there. It's when I see this kind of stuff, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. Who is running the country? Okay, what is Biden doing over there? And who, for the people who don't think Biden is really involved in this, seriously, like, who do you think is doing this? Who do you think is calling the shots? I think Biden definitely is signing off on a lot of this stuff, and I don't really think he cares. I think he's kind of just doing his best, is his final attempt to really sabotage Trump. That's what I personally believe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We're gonna go through some of these comments here. The scariest thing is that the day it's nuclear, we will not even notice. Another one. Remember, Democrats, this is the war you said Donald Trump would start. Facts. Another comment. Yeah, let me see. Wow, those missiles look like lightning bolts, and it's just a crazy thing to see. America playing stupid games with other people's lives again, indeed. And yeah, I'm just not a fan of how the Democrat Party has really handled their years in power. I'm really just disappointed and just disturbed. I mean, seriously, it's like they want to see America fail. It's just wild to me. But when I look at all this stuff, ultimately I sit back and I think, what would 4 years with Kamala Harris look like? And this is what really makes me just, thank God and have an inner peace and really just take a walk outside and just smile and frolic through the grass and look at how bright the sun is and the grass is green and the sky is blue, and just thank God that Kamala Harris is not elected to be president, because if she was, oh my gosh, we'd have 4 more years of this. It would just be a disaster. I don't really think she would take the job serious at all. She blatantly said that she wouldn't do anything different from Biden, and that should scare the hell out of a lot of people, quite frankly. And Kamala struck me as someone who is very war hungry as well, And even if you don't think she was war hungry, I definitely think that she wasn't afraid to go to war at all. I really just think that she kind of didn't care what happened to the country or what happened to anybody. It was kind of like, well, screw the American people, Let's bring these immigrants in. Let's get some new voters in here, some fresh meat. That's kind of how she struck me. And you could see this with her patterns of how she handled things in her time of being in charge. She just did not put the American people first. So what do you think 4 years would look like with her in charge? I don't think she'd be putting the American people first at all. But that's my thoughts on this, you guys. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Thank you to everyone who left a positive comment, watched these videos all the way through. Thank you to everyone who left a donation. Thank you to everyone who keeps me updated in the emails. I appreciate you guys greatly. You guys are awesome, and I thank you for supporting the channel. Shout out to the King Squad, the King Squad family, and the King Squad elites. And take a walk, drink some water. I hope everybody's making their money legally, okay? And all that great stuff. Get some sunshine, all that cool stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.